What's going on, true believers? Guys, can you turn $1,000 into $1,000,000 in the meme coin market? The answer is yes. And I'm going to show you how. Takes a little patience, takes a lot of luck, but it absolutely can be done. This is not financial advice, but I'm always right.
I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways.
Okay, guys, I want you to see the simplicity of how you can take $1,000 and turn it into $1,000,000. Now, this applies if it's $500, if it's $150. It doesn't really matter what the number is. Can you exponentially increase what it is that you are investing? Now, meme coins, of course, do not come without risk. So the first one that I'm going to show you is one that was a complete and utter risk. And that one is Keanu Inu. Now, for those of you that know, I was in this at the very beginning. I was not a developer, but I was in it at the very beginning. And at one point, Keanu Inu had reached an all-time high and had dropped a zero and had gone up to 8 zeros and 2080. Now, when I got in on this first day in the first 3 hours. So to simplify this, I'm trying to stay away from this big balloon number right here. And I'm trying to stick right here at this 1203 number. So at 1203, when you had just dropped, even though we're talking again, the 2080, because you're not going to hit the top every single time. But my buy-in at this point to where it settled at 1203 was a 36x. This is so simple that a child could do this. The question is, do you have the patience and do you have what it takes to make hard, cold decisions? So if you put your $1,000 in like I did at the beginning of a run on a token, and I'm going to show you examples of this, example after example after example, then you get up here, now you've got, this was a 36x from where I bought. Let's stop for just a second and do a little bit of math. So I'm taking $1,000 and we're going to 36x it. That, again, that's not the all-time high. That's just where it settled. Now, I'm going to take my fees out. The fees, we're going to call it, say, $1,000 getting in and out. So now I have $35,000 in which I'm working with. And that is just off of a 3-day window with a brand new token. Let's also remember this was launched on May the 9th. So by May the 12th, or I'm sorry, by May the 11th, we have a 35x, 36x. So we're sitting at $35,000. That's a couple days into this process. That's the way that this works if you have the resources in order to spread it around. If you don't, then you're taking a shot in the dark here. It'll take a little bit longer, but this is $1,000 into Keanu that turned into $36,000. We're going to use $35,000 to go forward. Launched on May 30 was Saitama. So if I have $35,000 and I'm sitting on it, then here's what I now have. I now have an opportunity on another token, and let's see where this ride takes me. Okay, so 3 days into this, we have a nice little moon that goes up to right here. And again, we're looking at way down here, we're looking at 10 zeros, which ends up becoming 8 zeros in very rapid fashion. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this as about a 15x, because that was a nice little run. Again, we're not using these big numbers up here. These big numbers up here, they make a huge amount of difference. But just in this little 3-4 day run, 5-day run, this is where we're going to end up right here. We're going to top this off at 72.96. Now, again, we're making another assumption that we got in here at a reasonable period of time. Let's even call it 29.26 that we got in on day 2, and that's where we're sitting. And then we get this sweet little run up right here that takes us up to 75.11. All right, so now we've taken out, let's just call it $5,000 for profit, because it's not realistic for you to put everything into it all the time. No risk, no reward. You know, I get that, but let's just talk about $30,000. Now we've pulled out enough for our fees. We've pulled out enough. We've taken just a little bit of profit so that we are not broke. Just in case things don't go right and we have to start all over again. We're now starting. We started with 1,000. We ended up with 36,000. Now we're taking 6,000 out to cover expenses and just the fact that we're holding onto some money. Now we put the 30,000 in here, and then we look at Saitama, and Saitama did another 27x for that period of time. So we're going to take times 27. So guys, in 2 trades, and remember this, I'm not telling you this is how you do it, but in 2 trades, we are now at $810,000. Let's put a pin in that, and let's move on. Okay, so guys, now I'm telling you that you've got $810,000. That's $800,000. Here's what we're going to do. At this point in this market, we are at June the 4th. This is when we have to make what is a real big decision. Do we hold or do we try to accumulate a little bit more? Because we're almost to $1 million, and all we've done is made 2 trades, and we've only caught 2 of these tokens at the beginning stages, and we went all in 2 times to try to see what would happen. Now, if you go in all in 2 times, you're probably going to get wrecked. Just an FYI, you're probably going to get wrecked, and you're probably not going to get 35x on them. I can point to token after token after token after token where these things didn't happen. They were pump and dumps. So there's no reward without a little bit of risk. But if we are this lucky at this point, we now have $810,000. With that, we are going to make a decision. And that decision is on June the 4th, we're going to start to diversify. And here we go. Okay, guys, so June 4th ends. We have $810,000. Now we are going to hedge. We are going to move into something a little different because now we're diversifying. So we're moving into Bitcoin. And we're buying Bitcoin on this day, June the 5th, or the evening of the 4th. And as you can see, it separates right here. This is kind of where we accumulate in this little area here. So we're going to call it $37,000. We're going to buy Bitcoin at $37,000. Now, again, we're going to take out $10,000 as a little bit of profit because we've now got $15,000 sitting in our bank that we can hold on to just in case of a disaster. And we're going to take half of this. And we're probably not, by the way. We're probably just going to buy 10 Bitcoin because it's $37,000. So we're going to subtract $370,000 from what it is that we are doing at this point. We're going to take that out. That $370,000 is now working for us as Bitcoin. And the reason that we're doing that is because that is as stable a coin as you will find. Now, if I'm making this too simple, it's because it's very simple. You just have to be able to pick the right plays and make this happen. But now we have $430,000 left. What are we going to do with that? So here's our next sweet, sweet nugget of wisdom. We're going to take another half of what we have left, which in this case is going to be $430,000. And we are going to make our play, and we're going to make our play on our favorite, and it's going to be on Ethereum. So we're going to find June 4th right here, right in the middle. And on June the 4th, we're going to make that play into June the 5th. So it's going to be splitting right here. So we're going to be buying ourselves Ethereum at $2,700. And we're going to put half of this money into Ethereum at $2,700. Now, half of 430 is 215,000. So we're taking out 215,000, and that's going to leave 215,000 left, right? And we're going to divide that by 2,700, and that means we now have 79.62 Ethereum. That's 79.62 Ethereum. We're going to call it 79.6 Ethereum. Actually, you know what? We're just going to call it 79 Ethereum. And that's where we are. And this is now our holding. We have 370,000 in Bitcoin, and we have 79 Ethereum, which is a total of $215,000. So, off of this play, you now have 10 Bitcoin, 79 Ethereum. And let's clear this one more time here. And you have $215,000 left. What do you do with the $215,000? All right, so now let's take a simple look here at where Bitcoin is trading right now. We're going to call that about 48,000. We're not even going to use the high. We're just going to use today. 48,000, and then we're going to use Ethereum, which is also at 3,800. Now, trading it at 3,800, and we're rounding up, we're rounding down just to kind of make these numbers simple. They'll be at these numbers so far. Now, if I were to do that, I have now put $585,000 into these two tokens. That has now generated me $780,200 plus my $215, and I am at $995,200. Now, if I'm making this play, which, guys, here's the funny thing. Once you've got something and once you're there, then these things are going to go up. And I just want you to take a second to consider this is how easy this market is. Now, here's the problem. The problem is you're sitting in a chat, you're talking to people, you're doing this all day long. All of these things go up, especially something with a good team. When I take a moment and I take this Bitcoin and I look at Bitcoin right now and I'm sitting here crying because Bitcoin's at 47,600. A couple days ago, it was over 48,000. When I zoom out to the 14-day, a couple days ago, it was at 57,000. When I go back to a year ago, it was under 20,000. When in doubt, zoom out. This is always the case. If you look here and you just get yourself in and you nestle in, you're just going through a process with all of this. Back in December, let's call it January 21. January of 2021, Bitcoin was 33,008. Today, it's 47,000, roughly 48,000. Guys, that's an increase of over 50%. 1 year to the next. So when you're sitting here, when you're trying to do these plays, understand this just continues to accumulate over time. Now, let's move on to that $215,000 and let's diversify a little bit and let's go look at everything that I said you should do during this period of time. And let's say that you just put 10 grand into everything that I said you should put 10 grand into. And let's see where it is today. Okay, guys, so now we're going to take out 60,000 and we're going to play all of the tokens that I said in the beginning that you should be playing. 10,000 into Floki, 10,000 into Hawk, 10,000 into Kishu, Sanshu, Shiba, and Star. And what I did was I removed Saitama because I didn't want to skew the numbers by saying get into Saitama a second time. And I didn't want to skew the numbers with Keanu because we've already made our profit from both of those. So here we are, and we're sitting with, I think it was 900 and something thousand. And now we're putting 60,000 into these tokens. Now these 60, since August 25, and this is the current absolute price at the moment. So you would have made, off of this 60,000, you would have made $381,802, which would mean that at this point, if you had played this just the right way, you would be sitting at $1,317,002. Now, does that make it simple? Absolutely not. Investing is difficult. Investing is incredibly hard. But look at the result there. $1.3 million would be your haul off of what I just told you to do. And all I did was take you through a failed product 3 days in, take you through another successful product, but only 4 days in. And then the rest of the time, we diversified our money that we had made off of that into a more stable asset across the board. And then we took a little bit of measured risk with a few more tokens afterwards, or with about $60,000. We took some risk because we kept the other $155,000 sitting in the bank, waiting there just in case we need it, just in case something happens one way or another. And here we are with the end result. That's literally how easy it is. Moving on. All right, guys, I don't want to get off on a rant here, but as you can see through these numbers, this is a simple game. The problem with it is human sentiment and you making decisions based on emotion. When you see someone sitting in your chat that says, why no go up? Why it down, not be up when go up, when I down, when it be? And I don't have an answer for you other than just enjoy the ride. This is a roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. There's always dips. There's always moons. They happen over and over and over again. That's the nature of cryptocurrency. It's the nature of all exchanges in some way. The issue, by the way, is that they always go up. Now, the difference between cryptocurrency and what you might call a stable environment is very simple. You don't see these types of gains that much in most exchanges. You're not going to see this on the Dow Jones every day, but you will see it in cryptocurrency. And the reason that you're going to see it is because these things are cyclical and they move at a moment's notice. And the market caps on these are so small that the valuation doesn't really exist. It's a launch. And you are just adding to the funding for each one of these as you go along. And that's what creates the wealth over time, is you, the investor. That being said, you're always going to have unsuccessful plays. But at this point, you've made enough that you can make a few unsuccessful plays. Don't over leverage yourself. Never put yourself in a poor position. The only place that your big money belongs after you've done the right things, held and work this process to the best of your ability. After these things are done, then the best thing that you can do is put yourself into stable product. Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB seems to be fairly stable. I want to say Cardano. I know a lot of people are anti-Cardano right now, but if you face the facts and you do a little search, Cardano is up, I think, 2,000% from the start of this year. So I think you'd be selling yourself short if you didn't invest in Cardano in the long term. Solana's had some major struggles right now, but I think you get what I'm saying. Blockchains are going to be a big deal. Metaverse is going to be a big deal too. Metaverse is just not there yet. There's the sentiment that brought the Metaverse and Sand and Decentraland and all these other ones to explode a little while ago. That hasn't taken us back over yet. It's probably going to take a big announcement. Maybe Facebook makes another big move, starts to allow people to put their games on their platform. Whatever it is that they're going to do, there's going to need to be a big announcement, and then the Metaverse is going to blow up again. But right now it seems to be dying with sentiment. But here we are. You've made $1 million, and all you did was listen to me for a little while, and I'm an idiot. So if any idiot can do this, you can do it too. Guys, that's my time. I just made crypto very easy for you. I just showed you two places, one dead token, Keanu, one still thriving token, Saitama, and you made a good amount of money just by playing them at the start. That was all it took. You might get wrecked. This is a dangerous game, but you might also be rewarded. That's my time. Good luck.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go.